Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a 3D little cat. And I'm going to make a little black cat. So the colours that we're going to need are black and white for his tail and whiskers. I'm also going to use two of the mini pony beads. They're a 7x4mm mini pony bead and one little pink band for his nose. So we're going to start with our single loom in the offset configuration, which means that column 1 and 3 are slightly lower than columns 2. The arrow is facing towards us. If you don't have an arrow, the open part of the peg is facing towards us. And we're going to be double banding. Double banding means you take two bands and you place them on the pegs together like this, as if they were one. So we will start by doing that. If you feel that I'm going a little bit too fast for you, please remember you have a pause button. Feel free. You will not offend me. I promise I won't even notice. And pause me as many times as you need to, so that we're going the speed that you need. Alright, so for the face here, what I'm going to do for the eyes, I'm going to take a single black band, wrap it once and twice and 3 times, or twist it 3 times, and place it here. Okay, and that is going to allow me to thread my white beads on and not have them fall to the back of his head. I'm going to thread my white beads onto my 2.75 crochet dude hook. They fit quite nicely down that hook, and I'm going to thread them onto a single black band. Thread them onto whatever colour you've done your face. Now if you are not using beads, you can do bands. You can wrap a single band around your hook 4 times, then do the same to another one, and you slide those onto the black band. Lift this part of your band up and over this peg here, and then it sort of acts as a crossover band. We're also going to make some ears. Take 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, and we'll slide onto 2 black bands. Now with these, what we're going to do is splay them open. So take your hook out, splay those 2 open and the 2 the other side, and you want the 2 ends to be the same band. To check when you pull it apart, if you have a little hole between, if you can see right through it, you know you've done a good job. So we're going to place one side here and the other side will just pop here on this peg. There's 1 and there's 2. Alright, let's do the same on the other side. 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 black bands, take your hook out and splay it open, and splay this side open as well. Let's hope that we have the same corresponding bands. Let's look for that little hole. Yep, there it is. So one side of the ear here and the other side, I like to use my hook, it just helps, here. Push those down, you don't want those falling off. Now for the snout and the chubby cheeks, I'm going to do those all in one. I'm going to move down to the end of my loom, take 2 bands, and we're going 1 band, 2 band, 3 band, same here, 1, 2 and 3. The same for the third. 1, 2 and 3. Let's grab a crossover band and a crossover band and a crossover band, like that. Actually, we won't put one here, we'll just do those 2. Take a single, wrap it around your hook once and twice, and this will be our end cap, just here. Same on these two, single, wrap once and twice. We'll just go here, and on this one, once, twice, and it will pop here. Using your single band, wrap once and twice, and that's going to just sit here on that peg. Let's loop this up, push that crossover band back with the back of your hook. Okay, that one can actually come under that peg there. Let's do this side next. Let's leave the middle till the last. Now here we're going to dig down, loop up, here we'll loop up. Now let's get our hook under the bottom piece of this loop of the black band and grab the pink band. I'm trying to get all 3 little loops, there we go. Move that crossover band out the way and pull it forward like that. You should have 3 little loops, and then loop that one up. We'll take this off our loom like so. Now take 2 black bands, place on the end of your hook, and we're moving these loops onto those 2 black bands like this, and reclaim the end of your black bands. Another 2, and 1 more pair. Now reclaim the end. If you do not have another hook, put it on a toothpick or a pencil or something, but you're just going to swap sides now, and we're going to dig down and find the 3 little loops that form the end cap at the end here. Okay, only the 3 little loops, none of the other bands. Alright, now let's take another pair of black and loop, push the loops through onto that, reclaim, another pair and reclaim, and 1 more pair and reclaim. Now this is going to be our snout and chubby cheeks all in one. So let's go back to our little face here. We're going to be placing this here. These little loops here are going to go on the jaw like that, and the loops that we have on our hook are going to sit on the peg by the eyes. Okay, so there's 1, and here we go for the other side. If I can get my fingers to obey me. So there we go. So this is going to be how we do the face. Now, and this actually sort of gets it doesn't need to sit so down like that, because we'll actually be doing a flip top head as per normal. But to start with, what we need to do is move it up a bit, because we need access to this, and we're going to be using some different bands. So 3 bands for the neck, push that down, and then just double band. Now for these last 2, I'm sorry, I was just about to keep going and doing black. I'm going to change to white for the tip of the tail, and I'm going to put an end cap, single band wrapped once and twice, and pop that on here. Okay, so we're ready to loom up. Grab your 2 bottom bands, and we start with our looping project. loop this up to the center here. Now we need to find either side, so what we're going to do, sort of lift this gently, and I can see that there's a band that's come undone there, so I'm just going to grab that and put it back in its spot before it causes us too much strife. There we go. So lift this up a bit, but you still want those bands on the peg because we need to loop those in. Dig down, find the 2 top black bands and loop across. The next 2 top and loop across. What I'm going to do next is the sides first before doing the middle, because I want the sides to be locked in. I'm going to take the chubby cheek off this side and hold it out to the side here. Dig down and find the 2 bottom black bands, okay? And what I need to do is loop those up here. Then I can put, whoopsie, the chubby cheek back on. Let's make sure I don't lose that band. Thank you very much. Let's put the chubby cheek back on. There we go. And now, to lock it into place, I'm going to dig down and find the 2 bottom bands and loop up. So these have locked these into place. Okay, I'm going to do the same this side. I'm going to take the chubby cheek off, hold it out to the side, dig down and find the 2 bottom black bands and loop up. I'm going to put my chubby cheek back on like that, and then dig down here on the 2 bottom black bands and loop up. Now as I faff around here, I'm not going to lose these, so I need to lift this up, and I can see that I just dropped those 2 black bands. They live on here. So what we need to do, lift the snout up like this, grab the 2 bottom black bands and loop them up to here, move the snout back down and grab the bottom 2 bands and loop up. It's now locked into place. You can leave this snout alone. Dig down, grab the 2 and loop up, and now we do the sides, the bottom 2 black bands. There's one. Let's find the other. There's the other. Grab 2 black bands, push your hook down, poke it out the side, put the black bands on your hook, twist your hook so this smooth side doesn't snag on these bands. If you were using the hook it would. Reclaim the end of your bands and take the 2 closest to you up, over and off and pull tight. We can take this off the loom, so I use a back of a metal hook to help me. I hate broken bands, and I always sort of feel that when I have multiple bands on one peg, something's likely to break. So take your little cat face off, and you can also use this as a tiger or anything really like that. There's his little face happening here. Find his ears that we had down here, and you just need to sort of pull them up. There's one that's poked up. Let's find that other one. I think it's hiding. There he is. So pull that up. Now we can hide these little tie-off bands at the back. So push your hook through some of the bands at the back and then grab those tie-off bands and pull them back through. Try not to pull too hard. You don't want to distort the shape of the face. Likewise, you still want it hidden. So just tuck those behind. So here's the little cat face that we have happening here. Pull his chubby cheeks out like that. Now I'm going to take a black Sharpie and colour his eyes in. like so. And obviously you will need to move this around a bit so his little nose is prominent, like that. Take a couple of white bands, and if you poke your hook through his little pink nose, you can pull 2 white bands through, like that, and then all I do is just snip them and splay them out a bit, like that. You don't have to use white bands, you can use grey bands or any colour you like. Again, it's completely up to you. Trying to flatten his face and make his chubby cheeks stick out a bit. There we go. Now let's do his body, because he sort of looks a bit odd just with a head and a tail. So single loom, I'm sorry, and we're going to move it into the offset standard configuration. I'm talking gibberish to you for a few minutes. Let's grab our Rainbow Loom hook, because it has our base removal tool on the bottom of it, and he's still going to be a black cat. I do black cat because my cat's black. Double band, and I've come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Don't think I'm mad. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are his legs. Take a single band, wrap it once and twice and 3 times, and you're going to slide that onto a band that you've twisted on itself. So take a single band, stretch it, figure 8, loop it on itself, and then slide the band you wrapped onto it like that, and reclaim the end. Let's do that again. Single band, wrap once, twice, 3 times, leave that on your hook, take a single band, figure 8, loop it on itself, and we're going to slide that on. This is how we're making his paws. Reclaim the end. Another time, wrap once, twice, 3 times, take a single band, figure 8, loop it on itself, put it on the hook, and slide these on. We're just doing 3 for each paw. That's our 3. Now take a double band, stretch it, figure 8. This is a double band, not a single, and we'll move these on, all 3 of them, like that, and reclaim the end of your band. Okay, push it down. Take a double band, wrap once and twice, and another double band, put on the end of your hook, and we're going to slide that over like that. Then with this one, we're going to budge it up a bit, take the first set of bands and move them over onto those rubber bands. You're going to lift these bands off your hook and put your hook on the other side. Move these bands here up and over, and I have to say these are not Rainbow Loom bands, these black ones, and they are rather horrible to use. reclaim the end of your bands like that, and I'm going to pop one on the end of this like that. We're going to do the same for the rest of the other three. So single band, wrap once, twice, 3 times, figure 8, snap yourself and move these over. That's the first one. Wrap once, twice, 3 times, figure 8, slide them over, wrap once, twice, 3 times, figure 8, slide on over and reclaim. Take a pair, figure 8, loop on themselves, slide all of this over, so you've got all 3 of those little toes on there. Reclaim the end of your band. Now let's take 2, wrap once and twice, another 2, slide these on like that. Then with our little paw, take these first set of loops up and over like that. You're going to swap sides, so take these off like that, hold on to them and swap them. You want the other side of the bands like that. Okay, and then these bands here come up and over, and I'm having a horrible time with them. Up and over like that. Reclaim the end of your bands like so, and we will position them on our end of the leg. 2 more to do. This is probably the fiddliest bit of all. Wrap once, twice, 3 times. Single band looped on itself. Double band, stretch out and loop. Double band, wrap once and twice, slide onto a double band, take the first set, move them up and over, and take that off the hook and put the other side on. Keep a hold of that side. And this one, oops, take these up and over and reclaim the end of your bands. I'll put that one here. Oops, 4 times, not 3. have to say I won't miss not having these black bands. It'll be good to use them up. I don't like them at all. Two black bands, figure 8, stretch and loop on themselves. Reclaim, 2 black bands, wrap once and twice. We're going to slide those onto 2 black bands and move this up. First set, swap sides. I'm still holding that side there, and then this side. For some reason I can never get the second side, but you can use a hook to help you. Up and over and reclaim, stretch it out, and I'm going to put that here on the end of this one. Okay, let's loop these up, go under the foot, pull that foot back to grab those 2 bottom bands. Our last one. Now I'm going to keep these legs on a holding hook until I'm ready to place them. There's my holding hook. There's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I'm just going to keep these on this hook until I'm ready. Now let's do our body. Double banding, standard configuration. And you're coming down 6, okay? So lay the bands for the first 3. Each one has to have a end cap, single band wrapped twice around the hook, like that. You need crossover bands, which are single bands that you're stretching across like this. Now, on this 3rd column, we're going to put 2 legs, one here and one here. So take one and pop it there, and another. And it goes here, like that. And don't worry too much about the facing of the paws, because they've got a little angle. You can angle those anyway. Alright, let's dig down past the end cap on the first column and push those crossover bands out the way and loop up. We're just doing the first column, and now we're doing the second column, but we're not doing the third column just yet. Move your little foot out the way. Alright, at this stage we need to take this one off our loom. Again, we're going to need to use a holding hook. I'm going to use the other end of my holding hook and take this column off my loom like that. Turn my loom over. I'm going to budge my base plates, the little base plates, forward one spot like that, and then I'm going to take my column off and place it here. This is column 4. I'm going to place my bands. I'm going to put an end cap, single band, wrap once and twice. I'm going to pull across the crossover bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put the other 2 feet that I have on my holding hook here on these spots here. I'm going to do one at a time and take it off my holding hook quite carefully. Alright, I don't want to undo the stitches that I have, so I'm going to put one here, take the other one off, and it can go here. Okay, let's loop up this middle column. Push behind the end cap, grab the 2 bands, and we loop up over the foot and dig down then to find the bottom 2 bands to lock those into place. There we go, up to here. Now we can take this column off, which is column number 2. Budge our big base plate forward, and now we will lay the bands for column number 5, still double banding. Make sure you do your end cap, single band, wrap once and twice, pull your crossover bands over to incorporate that new column, and then we loop up column number 4. Push the crossover bands back with your hook, or if you have got a foot on there, make sure you go right down to the bottom, grabbing those bottom 2 black bands. Don't get any of the bands that are associated with the foot. Loop that all up. Now we can take column number 3 off. Now make sure you pull your leg through like that. Turn your loom over. Let's budge this across one more time. And take the column of pegs across across. This will be number 6. Now if you're a bit worried that this is going to be a bit of a skinny cat, you can do an extra column. I'm just going to do the 6. But it's completely up to you. End cap, pull across. Now I should mention this cat is not a standing up cat, he sits down. Alright, let's dig down. We can do both of these columns at the same time, seeing as this is our last one. Oops. Now, I am going to take these off with this hook, which is my preferred hook, and I'm going to transfer the ones that are on the holding hook onto this hook. Okay, so that I don't rip my hands off. So that is his underside. These are his paws. Angle them the right way. And his head is going to stick here, and we sew up his back around him like this. Right, so let's move the loom out of the way and sort ourselves out. I'm going to take 2 bands, and I like to use 2 because one is insurance, and I'm going to move all of my loops across onto those 2 bands. Like this. Spread them out so that they're nice and even. I'm going to grab the head of my cat, make sure that it's facing downwards, that his chin is facing towards his paws, and I'm going to tie this around his neck like so, taking the 2 top closest to me up, over and off, and pulling tight. Now you can just splay this out and put it over his head like that. Okay, that will secure that tie off. And now what we need to do is loop up his back here. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple of bands. What I'm going to do is collect up, use a smaller hook perhaps, collect up these end caps here, and there's 3 little loops in each end cap. Hope you can see what I'm doing, like that. I'm going to again take 2 and slide these all on like that. I want his tail to be in between where I tie off, so his tail has to come out here. Now I actually haven't done a very long tail. You can do a much longer tail. That's completely up to you. Take the one closest to you, up, over and off, and again you can splay it over and pull around his tail like that. Now you can just leave it like that, and if you had wanted to do a different colour on his back, you could use that as a different colour for his back. Okay, I like to have him so he's sitting like this. There we go, like that. So what I tend to do is I tie up his back here, and I do that by grabbing a single band, and I move his head down. I just go under a couple of these bands here grab a single band, pull it through, and I tie a slip knot like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go under the other side from the inside to the out and pull it through. I'm actually going to use another one. I'm going to add that to it like that. Then I'm going to go back over to this side here and push my hook through a couple and pull it through. I just think this gives it a more rounded look to the little body, or you know, more of a body shaped look, I guess. Pull through. Dig through to find the bands that you want to tie it through. As I said, if you want to give him a more rounded body, you just do a few more columns. Instead of 6, do 8 or 7. So this is where I finish here, and then I'm going to splay this little band out and pop his tail through to hold it. I'm going to pull his tail so it's a little bit longer. Feel free to make his tail as long as you want. There is our little 3D cat. As I said, I like to have him sort of how I had Scooby-Doo sitting, but he's a little bit smaller, and I have him just sitting like that. So I hope you enjoy making him. There he is. Take care. Bye bye.